Oh, that's a long silence at the end. I need to edit that. Welcome to the Preppers Fireside, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm joined today by Brian, Scottish Prepper 73. How you doing, Brian? Get that poison out your hand.
I'm having a Pepsi moment just for a change, mate. What's that noxious ogre jizz you're drinking there? What's that you've got?
That's 49p Lidl's own cola.
I wasn't far off the mark, man.
This is how well YouTube pays. Alan, the world survivalist, you made the intro, Alan.
I was about to say, I made the intro. That's it. I'm on my way. Excellent.
How you doing, Alan?
Yeah, good. Yours?
Yeah, excellent. No problems. And we're joined by a complete stranger that used to be known as Brown Coat Prepper. But this strange man sat before us is actually still Barry. How you doing, Barry?
Very well, thank you. Yep, all good. Yes, bit of a change of face. Thank you, Miss Worm, for that comment. Who stole my beard? Nobody. I'm off on holiday shortly and I need to match my passport because otherwise I'm not getting back in the country.
Do you need a passport to get back in this country? That's another podcast.
That's another topic for another day.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about prepping, not politics and stuff. So, you know, all you wet wipes that's already ran away from my channel after the last warning, unfortunately, you've missed out on this one. But guess what? I don't give a fuck anymore. Swearbox. We're not monetized, as you can tell, because we want to say what the hell we want. So any donations, super chats, anything like that is always appreciated. And you can support these guys' channels as well. Every single one of them has a YouTube channel. Go and check out their content, subscribe, like, do all that lovely stuff that the algorithm likes to these guys for giving up their time. Right. Bugout vehicles. My first point is bikes are a no-go. But first we'll go around the table and see if you've actually got one or you've got a plan for one. I'll start with Alan. Bugout vehicle. Do you have one and what's the plan?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I've got a car, which is a bug-out vehicle if you're having to bug out and that's what you're using. And there's a few items in there you can chuck in that's always ready. I've got a motorcycle, which I think is a fantastic bug-out vehicle. Obviously, it has its limitations, like all the vehicles we'll probably talk about. But I've got that. I use that for outdoor type activities, and that would be probably my go-to if it was just me. You know, I could maybe get my dog on there as well, or one of them at least. And I've got a sort of fantasy wish list of things I would like to have if I wasn't so bloody poor. You know,
we'll go into the wish list ones later on. But yeah, that's great. Barry, what's your bug out vehicle? Anyone who doesn't know and who wasn't at the Scottish meet, Barry is the expert packer of vehicles. Right, give him the smallest vehicles and the largest load, and somehow it ends up inside it. I've heard that before. Beat you to it.
The smallest of the two vehicles we've got is a little Hyundai 10 i-Classic. And as you know full well, you can pack quite a bit in those motors. The other motor is Volvo X60. Yeah, 60. Which has obviously got almost 3 times the boot space once those back seats are folded down.
So that would be the optimum choice for the bug out vehicle. It'd be
the option. But I mean, obviously for an extremely quick getaway in tightly packed roads, etc., a small vehicle, Hyundai i10, perfect.
There you go. So it all depends on circumstances.
Yeah.
Brian, you came to us on the Fireside Live quite a few times from the bug-out vehicle. Do you want to explain your bug-out vehicle?
I built a camper van based on a long wheelbase high-top Citroen Relay. It took about 1.5 years. We would bug out in that. It can carry 150 litres of fresh water and underslung heated tanks. It's got solar panels on the roof. It's got a fixed double bed, hot and cold running water, leisure batteries, inverter. That would be my choice.
Yeah. Raven Blackwing says, I also have an i10. I'm also a Tetris queen. Love it.
I don't know how he got all that stuff in there. I was actually convinced somebody had arrived earlier, delivered them the stuff to make him look good, and then buggered off.
I know. One tent came out, and then the pole snapped, So it was like, oh, don't worry, I've got a backup tent. So a second tent came out of this I-10. They set that up, and then I woke up in the morning, and Barry's got an entire kitchen dining room layout set up and everything. He's got his own little canopy going on. The lot. He literally built a 3-bedroom house out of an I-10.
Yeah.
I thought I'll go outdoors. Lorry had crashed in the dual carriageway and he just robbed it. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Thank you, Learner Prep. But yes, you're right. I also did have a toilet in the car as well.
There you go. It was this seat you almost had. You had the toilet seat for the fireside.
For the podcast. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Barry sat on the shitter through the entire podcast. It was great.
Multi-use.
Yeah, it's multi-use. Trying to ask him questions, he's like,
no, the lid was down.
Right, so we've all got a vehicle. I've got a battery-powered Tonka toy, as we know. Plus, the missus has a diesel mocker, so we do have kind of the best of both there. And I am looking at changing that as soon as possible as well. So to get something more appropriate to my stature as the fairy prep father, or whatever people want to call me these days. Not the Godfather, he's already taken.
That's pretty gay. I have to say that. It's pretty.
The buttons are going to come open as we go.
Oh God, it's Sigma Mikey. Jesus Christ. Let's see your teeth. Smile.
Oh no. Wait till I buy them. Right. Your vehicles. Alan, you've mentioned we've discussed vehicles a few times and stuff like that, and I think you were the one that said set fire to your vehicle with a candle in the car, and we spoke about that. But what's in, if it's a bug out, if it's not just like your general vehicle kit, if it's bug out, what's going in your vehicle, and what's the plan for that? Is it just grab the bug out bag, throw it in, off you go, or is there a plan to load it up?
Well, it's going to be, you're going to load it with the absolute necessities of what you have. So it's going to be the same sort of stuff that you prep in your house, but it depends where you're going. I mean, where are you bugging out to? If you're bugging out to a relative's house 100 miles away, you probably don't need a year's worth of tinned food in there, you know?
Depending what the relative's got, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And what's the kind of situation? What's the emergency? Things do have to be tailored based on a particular situation. I don't really buy the notion that there's a, you know, no matter how long you're bugging out for, whether it be a day or a year, you take the same item, the same amount of items. I mean, really, right. The great thing about a car is you can put a lot of stuff in it. So pack it as full as it can go, really. You know.
Okay. Let me help you. The cigar tubes are in the sky. There's a warning. There's an evacuation order exactly where you are. You've got to get out of there. What are you throwing in it?
Well, in that case, it's going to be clothing, some food, a relatively small amount of water, but I'm going to take the means to filter and prepare water. So I'm going to take all of my camping gear, my outdoor gear. I'm going to take my family tent. I'm going to throw my wood-burning stove for my tent in the car because, you know, it's heavy as hell, but it's, you know, it's in a car.
The wood-burning stove, didn't he?
Real prepper.
Cast iron. You know, I'm going to throw some cooking utensils in there as well, actually, purely because I've got the means to carry it. If I've got any additional fuel, I'm going to take that. If I'm the kind of person that has hunting equipment of any description whatsoever, whether it be bows and arrows, crossbows, shotguns, anything like that, I'm going to take all that stuff with me. And I'm probably going to take a few vital digital items as well, you know, downloaded hard drives and stuff, and backup systems and things like that. And as much cash as I've got on me. And, you know, that's probably about it, actually. I mean, I don't really need much else.
How long do you think you could load that
in? My camping gear and my kit would literally only take me about 20 minutes. The rest of the stuff, with a bit of a scramble around, if it was just me doing it, well, the missus grabbed sort of clothing and stuff like that, maybe another 20 minutes, you know, if I'm being honest. Maybe
so
half an hour.
40 minutes to an hour kind of thing.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. Barry, with the I-10 Tetris, or hopefully the Volvo, if the roads are a bit more clearer, same situation. What are you grabbing? What are you packing? It's not a case of your everyday car kit, but you are it's an evacuation order. You've got to get out, and you don't know what's going to happen here. Yeah.
I mean, as you saw at the meet, a lot of my stuff is stored in sort of boxes, that kind of size, and most of those are pre-packed, ready to go. So I could pretty much throw everything I need in the back of the i10, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, and I'm on the road. Pretty much the same sort of gear as what Alan has said. Obviously, though, I'm a bit more limited on size. So more small, multi-use kit, more so than anything. But again, there's me, there's the wife. The Volvo would be the car of choice for an absolute bug out, because obviously there's more space in it. But that'd be about it. Everything like Alan's just said, and more water preferably.
Yeah, excellent. And how long do you reckon packing that?
I'd say 15, 20 minutes tops, because everything's already preloaded into those grey containers. It's literally I treat my card like Thunderbird 2, load in the pods and I'm off. That's it.
Excellent. Love the organisation skills. Thank you, Kane, for a super chat. I've got a Honda CR500 trial bike, and through possible to get through possible traffic jams. It's a good option. It's definitely a good option with the bikes. It depends if it's you on your own, if it's your family, stuff like that. Obviously, it's always circumstance dependent, but it is a good option. Thank you for the super chat, Kane. It really does help. Brian, is the Bugout vehicle pretty much loaded all the time because of what it is, or is there going to be a loading process if it's an evacuation order? How much can you get in there? Some stuff keep to yourself, but food and stuff.
Yeah. 15-20 minutes for 2 adults to pack it with more kit. If I didn't think I was coming back, everything in here, apart from the tinned stuff, the wrap packs and freeze-dried food up there on the shelves, all in plastic boxes. So there's about 40 24-hour wrap packs and boxes. They would go in the garage underneath the bed in the van.
Mm-hmm.
I would grab a couple of Delta 2s, stick them in, a couple of sets of folding solar panels, some of the Augustin Farm freeze-dried stuff, and some other things so that I can take part in pastimes while I'm away.
I've seen the steps that you've got to go up and down. I would overestimate more than 15 minutes to load.
Not really, though, because the van sits in the driveway, which is above the level of the house. So I'd only be walking through the house, dumping a box up there, and then she can stick it in the boot of the van.
Good.
So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes there, 3 boxes of Augustin Farm stuffs, a couple of power banks. I reckon 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Cool. So if anyone's like me and you are limited on space, being an urban prepper as it were, I picked up these, and you can get all sorts of different brands ones, but these are from Costco, and they're pretty
Was it
solid.
waffles?
And it pretty much folds out instantly from flat to a crate like that, right? They live in the little gap next to my fridge that nothing else fits in. So we have a drill. If it's to evacuate, 2 of them slide perfectly in side by side into her car at the back, and then everything gets loaded on top. So them 2 get loaded with as much food and water and stuff like that we can manage. It goes into them 2 crates, and that's loaded in. And we've tested that speed-wise. So just think about carrying stuff and things like that, and make sure you've got a plan in place. But yeah, really good.
It's not even a video I could make, because I'd look like a complete knob with the neighbours just flinging shit in the back of the van and screaming out the street.
It's fine. You get used to looking
more
like
than usual.
Thank you, Chronicles, for the £5. I assume is a super sticker. I can't see it via my dashboard, but really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hawkins is in there, got grab bags ready to go in the garage, 45 seconds and I'm gone. But I mean, that's a bug out bag, right? If you couldn't come back, if it's an evacuation order, that's what you've got to think of. How much more stuff would you be throwing in there? Would you be happy leaving everything else behind? Right, let's ignore what vehicles we have right now. What's the best vehicle type, do you think, for a bug out vehicle, Brian?
Old is gold. So
yeah,
the older the better. If you've got the spare parts, if it's well maintained, and if you've got some means to work on it yourself. So think old clunky diesel engine, minimal electrics. So you don't want anything with an electric injection pump. You don't want electric injectors. You want a mechanical lift pump, inline injectors, spring actuated injectors, inline injection pump, lift pump, spare fuel filters, tin of brake cleaner, or something else flammable, easy start in case your cold start doesn't work or your battery's flat. You can bump start it. You don't need to worry about any electrics. So old Landy, something like that. But
and
the point is, well, the point is, it needs to be maintained. It doesn't matter how good a vehicle it is. If it's never been maintained and it's a machine, the machine's built to work. If you don't regularly use the thing, if you just keep it parked up in a garage and hope in 10 years' time it'll run, you'll run out and start the key, don't even bother.
Yeah. Leaving the Bugout, I have 2 Pelican cases packed with 72-hour supplies in each, food, shelter, and water and equipment. They are first in, then if time allows for more food, and then next equipment to follow. Exactly. You don't know how much time you're going to be given when this evacuation order's in, so make sure you prioritize the packing as well, because you might have to stop halfway. And if you get the kids in first, just throw that out there. So, Barry, best type of Bugout vehicle do you think?
Old school Land Rover Series 2. Hats down.
Old school Land Rover.
Yeah, old school Land Rover Series 2. Long wheelbase preferably. It's
the closest picture I had.
That was a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah,
I'd love one of those, but they're not as reliable.
Yeah. So, any reason? What's the reasons for that, Barry?
You mean Barry?
Barry, I said Barry.
Yeah. Like Brian says.
Barry.
No, I'm sure you said Brian. They're easy to work on. They're basically a big Meccano kit. So if anything goes wrong with them, you can source plenty of parts for them. Reliable as hell. British Army wouldn't have had them if they weren't that good. So absolutely default vehicle for me.
Yeah, cool. Alan, favorite type or best type of Bugout vehicle for somebody?
Yeah, I mean, like the Land Rover 110 that the Army sort of used, they were pretty badass. You know, they're easy to put together. Even, you know, the headlight just unscrews. There's no messing around. There's no stupid computers. You know, you don't need a vast amount of mechanical knowledge to do things like change filters and oil and that kind of stuff. I mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, I actually really like the picture you showed, the Jeep Wrangler. I love Wranglers. I've had a Jeep in the past, not one like that, but you know, if I had unlimited money, I would buy one of those anyway, even though I know it's not as good as a Land Rover. But yeah,
looks good, right? It looks good though.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when it comes to best vehicle, I mean, you have to look at, well, what are people using in conflicts and stuff? Like the Taliban are kicking around in like Toyota Hiluxes and things like that. You know, I wouldn't go for maybe not something like that vehicle, because that'll take a bit more mechanical knowledge if you've got the skills to sort of maintain a vehicle like that. But the fuel consumption alone in that would be astronomical, probably.
That's a 1975 Volvo. See, there you go. It's I like the 1,500 kilograms sign on the left as well, but big enough for my family at least.
Yeah, I think anything you're going to have, though, is going to have to be off-road capable. You know, at a bare minimum. I mean, that's diesel's preferred over petrol. But then you've got small off-road vehicles like the Suzuki Jimny, that tiny little thing that farmers use. That's a fantastic car. Doesn't hold a lot, but if it's just you and one other, maybe one other and a child, and you've just got a couple of grab bags, that's a great little vehicle to get round. You know, the cars lying all over the road and go off-road a little bit and things like that. But yeah, diesel, off-road capable, something easy to fix.
So I mean, does anyone put stock in like the military vehicles? Obviously, I mean, I'm sure John won't mind showing, like, he's shared these before at truck shows and stuff, and he has vehicles like that. Showed the Volvo there before, showed the little duck thing, which is obviously amphibious as well. Ferret, I've always liked the British Army Ferret and stuff like that.
They're horrible to drive.
I know. Yes, I know. Yeah, they are a nightmare. You can get conversion kits as well, though, and make them a little bit better.
The problem is spare parts to maintain it as your bug out vehicle.
Yeah.
How familiar you are with fixing it personally. How flexible it is to on the road bodges. So if your Land Rover goes, you need a leaf spring, you can cut down a small tree, jack up the back end, and fire a sapling of some sort underneath it to keep it off the tyre. You need to be capable of Bushman fixes, and it needs to be amiable as such. So, and fuel economy, Alan touched on it earlier on. Fuel economy is a huge thing. It's a trade-off with the vehicle versus how much distance you're going to get for that valuable fuel.
What about the Mad Max petrol tanker? Then you drive and you fuel around with the flamethrower on the back.
See, if it was a crazy option, I'd get one of the... I can't remember what it's called. I'd build an Overlander, but I can't remember what the base vehicle's called. I think it's an MAN.
Yeah.
And I would build an Overlander. I would love to do that. She would kill me. She's probably watching, but she would literally kill me right now. But you can pick them up for about 40. It's a lot of money, but 40 grand for the base vehicle, and you probably spend about another 30 building the box. But they look brilliant.
You spend that on power banks in over a 5-year period. So
there's a company that sells MANHX. That's the vehicle you want to be taking a look at.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. But you're talking 200 grand easy. You know, if you get it properly kitted out and all that kind of stuff. There's a few webs. Yeah. HX 4x4. It's like a truck, but it's the badass of all overland trucks.
Let's have this thing.
No. Expedition Motorhome's website. If you go into that, you'll see.
That's the one. That's the one I mean. Yeah, that one.
It's the one you mean, yeah?
Yeah, big. I was going to say big fucker, but big vehicle.
Yeah, it looks like it's got nothing on the back, but obviously you could.
They come in different configurations. You can build it out.
Yeah, if you put in Expedition Motorhomes MAN HX 4x4, you'll see the ultimate Mad Max vehicle.
But again, it's no practical.
Not at all. Not at all.
But it looks great though.
Unless you are a fully qualified mechanic, you've got plenty of spares, and you've got some sort of logistical support continuously following you around. All of these kind of military vehicles are impractical because, I mean, the thing is, the military use them because they have logistics. So they have a continuous supply of, they're continuously being replenished, whether it be by fuel or mechanics. Yeah, something like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll have one, please.
You can get the 6-wheel version as well, which is even better.
That's the one. Yeah, sign me up.
Look at the bike on the back.
Man, I'm just going to throw it out there. See if your wife truly loved you. I mean, she'd be putting an order in for something like that right now. I might even put out later if such a thing had been ordered, just to sweeten the deal.
Well, that's a threat, isn't it? Great.
Yeah, pretty much.
Says, gives a £10 super chat. Thank you very much. I've left you on the screen, sorry, because I couldn't read it out straight away. But thank you very much for the £10 super chat. It really does help. How do you pack the emergency Pepsi/Soda Stream? Other drinks will be ridiculed. I don't, but Brian, would you like to? How much Pepsi would get thrown in the vehicle in that 15-minute packing window?
Behind the driver's seat in the van, you can fit 6 stacks of Pepsi without any problems. I won't tell you how I know that. That's about a week's worth.
That's really bad.
I can stop when I want.
Lee has a 3.2 litre Ford Wildtrak, awesome 4x4, great to drive, but I have no idea how to fix anything. The most modern vehicles are overcomplicated for most to work on. There you go.
See, that's a point. I started my apprenticeship in 1989, and at that time, when I went to college, it was you could strip and repair injectors down to component level. Now everything's throw it away, and I've not rebuilt an engine in 20 years. I could do older vehicles. I'd still be comfortable and competent on them, But newer ones that you're plugging in a fault code reader and stuff, I've got to be realistic in my own limitations. I'd be fucked. And to be fair, most times it goes into a garage, it's swap the bits to the faults go away if they don't get it on the fault code reader.
No. This is the thing. I mean, that's the benefit of older vehicles as well. You can always get a Haynes manual, right, which pretty much can change every single bolt within it, and stuff like that. What about EMP hardening? I know somebody on the fireside who's not here today has got one of the magic blinking light boxes that's supposed to protect you, apparently, but you know. I'm sure it's just an LED.
It's pish. It's absolute pish.
Yeah.
I'll bet you I could plug a Meg into it and zap it and it would fry it straight away. What an absolute crock of shite. See, unless the guy had it in front of me and he zapped it, I'm calling bullshit, because I don't see how a wee shitty LED box with like 2.5mm multiflex on it across the battery is going to take out like a 40,000 volt and just surge. Pish. It's nonsense.
No, I wouldn't trust any of those EMP gadgets. Full stop. No, I agree with Brian completely on that one.
The best way to mitigate it,
Go on.
if you go for an older diesel that it's paired back to the essentials, you'll have a 12 volt fuse box. You'll have on the heavy side battery cables, alternator cable for the starter, heavy cable to the starter motor itself. Even the alternator will probably be fried. The diode pack will be fried in that anyway. But you could keep spare diodes or even an entire alternator in a Faraday bag in the vehicle, right? Because that's realistically that's all that's going to pop. It'll start. It'll just no charge. So, and even if it doesn't start, you can bump start it, jump start it. It's not a problem if your electric glow plugs don't work. Doesn't matter. Get some brake cleaner, ether, scoosh, vroom. You've got so many options. A modern one with an ECU, it is toast, in my humble opinion.
So we're not putting much stock in the metal boxes with blinking lights on, no?
Snake skin oil.
Well, you can buy them at my shop. No, you can't. I'm joking.
Do you not remember the guy that was selling the mine detecting kit to the British Army?
Yeah.
And it was a box with a couple of LEDs in it. It was absolute bollocks. Nobody fucking tested it. They just kept buying it.
Yeah, I remember hearing that story. Incredible.
Yeah.
He made millions out of it as well.
Yeah, he's doing time for it now.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
But yeah. I'd want to see it. I'd want to see it because at best I'm thinking it's a large capacity of some sort. And it's no, it's pish. No, it's shite.
I'm sorry. This is one of the benefits of a motorcycle if you knew an EMP was likely, because it's, you can remove the battery, all the relays and the fuses from a motorcycle in 10 minutes. On mine you can. And then you could put all that stuff in a Faraday box. And
you don't need to worry about the battery. Your battery's fine. If it's a lead acid battery, you don't have a BMS, there's nothing in it that's going to get cooked with an EMP. Leave the battery alone. The only thing that's going to get toasted in an older vehicle will be the diode pack and the alternator. You don't have an ECU. Your fuel pump's mechanical, your lift pump's mechanical, and your injectors are pressure blown off. So, no, you've nothing to worry about.
So, if it is kind of an EMP situation or something similar, something like that, Alan, we might not get warning for it. So what's the bug out plan if that happens? Are your vehicles, have you got parts ready to go for them, or is it going to be a case of foot or alternative transport, kayak maybe behind you?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I wouldn't be prepared for an EMP attack. I mean, that's not something I've ever prepped for, and probably, to be honest, never would unless I genuinely thought that was a likely scenario. So you would just have to fall back on whatever it is you have. You would have to fall back to your bug out plan for walking. My bug out plan has always been from walking from my home anyway. It's a hell of a lot easier to get there in a car, but I've made my first bug out location so close that it wouldn't take me long to walk to, even in a t-shirt, because you don't know what kind of situation you could be bugging out in your pants. You just don't know what the situation is. So I don't want my first bug out location to be 20 miles away. I want it to be 5 miles away, because it could happen in the middle of winter and, you know, the snow. So yeah, I mean, I would go for the walking alternative if nothing was working. I mean, but if, you know, if we're in the realms of absolute, you know, lottery fantasy, you've got a horse. You know, I would have a homestead. Of course, I would have horses. You know, a horse worked fantastic for humans for I don't know how many years. Must be close to 2,000 or 3,000, possibly more, where that was the only means of transport. It's immune to EMPs. It doesn't require any fuel apart from some hay and some grass. Pretty easy to look after.
And they're tasty.
If the Lone Rangers then, if they go by, you can call it by a name and it'll just run over to you and you can jump on it. But a horse is a practical thing in a lot of places.
I feel like these are these things that are like, yeah, that's what I'll do. And then the situation of reality happens and it's just Alan, day one of SHTF, is lying on the floor with a broken spine as he tried to jump on the horse from second story window. But I like the horse idea, especially if you had a homestead. I think that would be one of my options, 100%. I'm pretty immune to saddle store now as well, so that should be all right. Barry, EMP situation. Have you hardened your vehicles in any way or spare parts, or is it going to be Shanks's pony if you've got to get out and it's that situation?
No, Shanks's ponies. We've got a couple of push bikes for like getting away with small backpacks, etc. But EMP situation, no, the vehicles are toast. Push comes to shove, we're going to stay put, you know, until things really do get hairy, and then it's a case of by then, hopefully, the majority of people will be toast, and then, you know, work at it from that.
He meant unfortunately, majority of people will be told, not hopefully.
I'll just bide my time till they're all fucked. I like your thinking.
So the EMP doctor on YouTube is a fraud. The question from Norfolk UK Prepper.
Surely not with a name like that.
Never heard of him.
Well, you'll see on YouTube the perpetual motion machines and all the rest of it. Yeah. I would want to see it. I would never buy that unless he's got it right in front of me and he zaps it in front of me and it still works.
Yeah.
I've yet to see, if somebody wants to link me a video for later and show me one that's opened up in bits and show me what's inside it, awesome, we'll chat about it. Other than then, we're selling snakeskin oil with a sticker on it and a fucking LED. Stick it up your arse. It's full of shit.
The Prepper's Fireside, making friends with everybody. Right. So, what else? I've got these military vehicles up here, so we need to talk about them. First of all, Lee, I would perhaps learn how to start cars without keys. When one breaks down or runs out of fuel, you could swap vehicles. All depends really on where you're going, how far it is. I could do that with an old Vauxhall Nova, but I don't think there's many of them around anymore. Yeah,
pretty much anything above sort of 2002, you're not starting that with a hot wire or any other fans.
The old Nova, you had your emergency, your hazard lights.
Just turned it around or something, didn't you?
It was on top. You lifted it out, turned it round, hit it down so it fused and it started. And then my mate's Fiesta Mark II, you could put any metal object into the key and turn it.
Yeah.
Start it. We drove his car off so many times when he was in McDonald's and stuff like that. Parked it next to lampposts and climbed out the boot and all sorts.
The Nova sets a record for me for changing clutches. You can do it in situ in about 20 minutes flat. Don't even need to take the gearbox out. Pull the main shaft back with a 7mm stud, and there's a plate on the bottom of the bell housing. Drop that out, put some clamps on it, take the pressure plate off and friction plate, and drop it down. Put the new one on, slide the shaft through. It's I did so many of those for homers.
Listen, this is prepping advice gold. Everyone needs to get a Vauxhall Nova. This is.
Oh, they're pretty expensive nowadays. Box
Yeah.
ambulance. So I was at a car show recently, and there was quite a few of them there, and some people were selling them, and the price tags on them. Wow, a bit of a
The
net
last one
boy
I had-
collector's item.
God, it must have been 1992, and then I crashed into an ambulance, and it wrote it off.
Nice. I mean, it's if you're going to crash into something, an ambulance is probably the most prepared you could be.
He ran the lights in front of me with no lights on or anything. I smacked into the side of it.
Wow.
It looked like somebody cut the front of the car off from the windscreen forward. The gear stick was back here, the seat, and the radio went out the back window.
I take it there was nobody in the ambulance in the back. I mean,
yeah, I was nearly in the fucking back yet.
They had a spare bed. For hacking into cars, use a flipper device for educational purposes only. There you go.
I was looking at one of them just yesterday. That's interesting. It was on. See the guy who does the MythBuster show, Savage or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was talking about them. It's like a little hacking device that you can do all sorts of cool stuff with for education.
I've seen them. You can grab RF codes and stuff with key switches and shit, apparently.
Yeah, you can make key cards. There's all sorts of stuff you can do with it. It's interesting little item.
So, bugging out vehicles. We'll talk about the extreme fantasy ones later on and stuff like that. But the plan in place, Barry. Have you just got two of you going in your bug out vehicle, or could there be more than that? Just two?
Two.
So what's the plan for the roads, and to a degree thinking about defence and evasion?
Avoid the main roads. I'm fairly close to a motorway, which is unfortunate. So the main arteries going up to that are going to be clogged. So it's going to be side roads from here to destination A, and then if need be, if we're heading that way and things start to look hairy, just divert across to one of the alternative locations. Initially, we'd probably try going in the large motor, because obviously we can carry more, but if need be, we could always turn around, head back, dump out, swap out into the smaller vehicle and use that, because obviously the I-10 is probably 2/3 of the width of a Volvo, so it'll get through some quite tight gaps.
But what you lose in size and width, you also lose in the off-road capability, right? I don't think I'd fancy taking the I-10 off-road to go around an obstacle.
Yeah, it's not the best motor for going off-roading, but it will go on pavements quite easily. So, as long as I can get up and down the curbs, okay, just take it easy so I don't blow a tyre.
Brian, that must be a consideration for you, because your bug out vehicle is quite large, substantially. Any sort of motorhome or van or something like that is quite a large vehicle. If it's clogged roadways and stuff like that, I mean, can it go off road? What's the options there?
No, it's what's there, and it's a lifeboat, but it's not an off-road vehicle. It's not going to cope with rough conditions like that. I would have to be forced to leave home. I would have to be forced, physically forced. And in that scenario, the roads and where you're going to be sent might have bearing on it. I don't know. I'd like to think if you were forced to evacuate, that the authorities, because they're so good, would have a route sorted out. But if that was not the case, I would probably head up the Carn Valley towards Fintry, and it's like single track roads. There's reservoirs, there's trees, and find some place to park up the van. The lifesaver jerry cans there, so water's not a problem. It's got solar. The power banks would be there. The portable power banks would be there. I'd have enough food probably for about 3 weeks.
Do you carry the equipment to potentially deal with hazards? Because that's one way of getting around having a large vehicle. Some people have a winch fitted. Some people will carry a chainsaw for trees, stuff like that.
I've got 2 electric chainsaws, and I'd take them with me because the power banks could run, because I've tried them, they could run both the chainsaws. Push come to shove, there's ratchet straps in the back of the van. if you don't mind damaging it, tie it around a bottom cross member, cut things into logs, and just reverse back and pull them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
if the roads were clogged.
Having the means to overcome an obstacle is key when you've got a bigger vehicle, sort of thing. Alan, the bike's a great option for a bug-out vehicle, but it's going to be difficult getting the whole family on it.
We see, this is the thing. I would have a genuine decision to make, right? Because I'm a 2-car household, and I've got a motorcycle. Baby. So, yeah, I mean, it would be a case. I mean, if we were bugging out genuinely in vehicles, why take 1 car if you're a 2-car household? You would take 2 cars. You know, because you're doubling your capacity for space. It's extra security. If one breaks down literally at the side of the road, you can all pile into the next one. You know, it makes sense to take everything you possibly can. That being said, though, if we were in a situation where the roads were absolute havoc, we're talking sort of 28 days later, zombies running around and stuff, I would consider putting everything into the car and having, you know, the wife drive the car with the kid in it, and me on the bike going ahead and then coming back and forth and kind of doing it the way military convoys do with a motorcycle, because that allows me to nip ahead, see what's going on, make quick turnings around, come back and sort of work that way. And it's an off-road motorcycle, so I can go off-road at a very, very maximum push. It's obviously a motorcycle takes 2 people, and you could get probably a child in the middle up to maybe, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old. So you could get sort of 3 people on a motorcycle in an absolute emergency.
So I just have to pick my favourite child.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, how big is your family?
Daddy, wait, Dad.
It's like that with everything. It's like if you've got 10 kids, then yeah, the family car is not going to have a lot of preps in it because it's just taken up by kids. But or your dogs.
Who saw me going to the meet with my entire family will realise this. It was literally on the laps, the equipment, and that was just for a weekend.
I would definitely say though, if you're in a 2-car household and you both drive, take both cars. It makes no sense not to. You know.
See, it depends. It would all be situational dependent, obviously. Obviously, yeah. I've got the EV, and we've got her car. Now, her car, full of diesel, will get us to bug out location A, B, and C, right? Mine will get us to A, almost to B if I'm on the A roads and I'm braking a lot, and it'll never get me to C. So we could take 2 vehicles, but one would have to be ditched at some point. So it would only benefit of the supplies we used on the journey, if anything.
Yeah, an EV is a bug out vehicle unless you had a means to sort of pull up and charge that and all this kind of stuff. I can't really see the benefit of an EV as a bug out vehicle. I don't think the tech is there for that, and especially in a grid down type situation.
An EV could be a great vehicle if you're bugging in, because if you can, even if you're slow charging it through solar and stuff like that, whether that even if that takes you 3 days to get 10 miles worth of range or 20 miles worth of range, that's a water where you could fill the entire car. So it has got a place in the situation, I think, definitely, but mine hasn't. I want it to somebody to steal it.
Another thing you could do. You're talking about the EV. Eventually, it's going to run out of juice because it's only getting you to B. Now, who's to say that you don't literally pack that EV full of every bit of prep you have in your house, every bit of food, everything you have, run it as far as it can go, it dies, and then bury all that stuff somewhere that you remember. You might never come back to it, but at least you know it's there, and it's a couple of 100 miles away from the thing that you're bugging out from. So
yeah.
You know,
I mean, I carry part of my kit that goes over the top of them crates is a large camouflage net, purely if I had to pull in somewhere and mask the car and stuff like that. So I've not got a camouflage pattern car. Her car's a silver car, so it's got quite a lot of glint. So even if we were just bedding down for the night, to cover that up could make the difference in attracting attention and stuff like that. So who do you have close by? Not sure. Has Alan never seen a Greek family on a scooter? I've seen a family of 5.
Yeah,
Truth.
I've been to Thailand a couple of times. I tell you, they'll get a whole family on a moped, no problem. You know, if they can do it, you know, I can do it.
How do you get around military checkpoints, choke points such as downed bridges, let alone the vehicles littering the roads as they run out of fuel? So
that is the worry, isn't it?
That's the worry. I mean, I'll go first on this one. Every Bugout location I've got 3 routes to. One's main roads, one's B roads, one's a nightmare and barely passable, but you could do it. So it's a case of depending on the situation. And if all 3 are blocked and there's no thing, you've got to adapt. You know, this is the whole point of being a prepper. You can plan as much as you want, but that might go wrong at some point. Interesting saying military checkpoints as well. I wonder what the situation is there. But Barry, what about obstacles and stuff like that, down bridges, cars littering roads? Obviously, you said you had the option of the smaller vehicle, but take any tools along to like help you along the way?
Not really, just sort of like the basics, obviously, for like swapping out tires if anything happens to those. Shovel, I've got camo net, got 2 lots of camo netting, and also a dark sheet, because obviously you see my little motor, it's bright red, so you know that needs to be camouflaged. So I've got a dark sheet that goes over the top of the motor first, then camo netting over the top of it as well. It hides quite easily. For avoiding checkpoints and rerouting, I've got a custom printed Ordnance Survey map with all my destinations marked on it. Nothing simple. You could look at it, you wouldn't know what you were looking at. But to me and the missus, we know what's marked on that map. Yeah,
that's good. The OS maps are good as well because you get all sorts of gradients and stuff like that. I will say that even with an OS map, check your routes. There could be obstacles there that are not on the map. Yeah. Like I've had OS maps where it looks like you could go straight through somewhere and you get there and they've put giant boulders there to stop the traveling community staying there. So it was no longer passable with a vehicle where it looked like it was on the map. Yeah. So make sure you check your routes out regularly as well.
Yeah, I mean, like we do tend to sort of like take trips out and go along our preferred routes every now and again, just in case, like you say, things have changed. I mean, how many times have you gone out to somewhere you've not been for a couple of years, only to find a new bypass or a new road, or the road you were planning on going down no longer exists because it's a housing estate? Yeah. Things change. You know, keep your maps and your locations and your routes up to date.
Yeah. Was it you that posted this, Barry?
Yes, mate.
It was. There you go.
Found it posted on Facebook.
That's a cool loadout, and that is the trailer I have, but obviously you've got battery assistance there. I want people's thoughts on this. Obviously we know I did 171 miles over terrain that raised over like up and down a total elevation of 5,200 kind of meters, and it was painful and it was a nightmare, but I made it that kind of distance. That's a long bug out distance. Yeah. If I was bugging out 10 miles, it would have been a doddle. Bikes, do any of you see them as a reasonable option for bugging out in the similar sort of method to what I did, but maybe like a family, maybe loading the bike instead of the trailer, maybe e-bikes? Does anyone have a 2-wheeled option in that respect?
I think it is an option. You could just do it over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
You know, you were obviously doing something deliberately as a challenge.
I've got 2 electric e-bikes.
You know? Mm-hmm. So I think Brian's on a time delay. Right. Carry on, Alan.
I wasn't really going to add. I don't own a bike, but you know, a pedal bike. But I can see they do have something of a utility. If each of the family members have them, or if you're pulling a small kid along in a trailer or something, I would just do it over a much greater time period. And you can't take a lot of preps with you, you know, on a bike, as you're well aware. Especially if you're not able to use any kind of hotel or anything. If you're literally camping the whole way and trying to feed yourself the whole way, a whole other world of trouble. Plus, it's seasonal dependent. I mean, I wouldn't like to try and pedal a bike in the snow.
Still possible, depending. I'm after one of the fat wheel ones next, I think. But Brian, you were saying there before you went all roboty and hyperspeed.
I've only got 2 e-bikes, and they've got value. I mean, you'll get 30, but realistically, on average terrain, 30 miles out of it on a charge.
But that's fully assisted, right? You can pedal as well.
Oh yeah, you can pedal as well. But you've got different modes of assistance from 0 to 5. And when you buy it, you'll say, I'll just use it on 1 or 2 now and again. That's a lot of bollocks. You've got it in full assist all the time because it's fun, right? And you can go further. So,
yeah.
And I had a bigger one as well, a mountain bike one, but I got rid of that because it didn't fit in the van. But the two folding ones, the My Rider one and the other one, I can't remember the name, you'll get about 30 odd miles. And with a backpack on it, average terrain, I mean, that's got value. That really is an option. And if you watch Mispronounced Adventures, he did the My Rider bike that I've got with an Anchor C1000 power bank and folding panels, and he did the Great Glen Way.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've seen that. I'm sure you linked that video, didn't you, before my cycle sort of thing.
So it's got potential, but it depends how much shit you're carrying. On the VCP thing that they mentioned, something springs to mind on that. If you're worried about roadblocks and things and that kind of nature, I suppose I could stick the drone up in the air, and if rule of law is pissed away, I wouldn't be worrying about the 400 feet limit or 500 meters line of sight all the time. You could fire it out to about 3,000 meters. You could route scout ahead with the drone, and you'll get 30 minutes flight time out each battery. 3-4 batteries I've got. You could scout out your route before you move the vehicle.
Good for security purposes as well, not just the route. Definitely.
So that's something to think about.
Have you thought about, or have you got the means to mount the electric bikes to the motorhome? So, like when you get to a destination, you've got a way to get around without moving the van the whole time.
Yeah, they'll fit in the garage, but obviously anything I take out of there to put the bikes in, I could just stick. So the meal boxes up there with the rat packs, I could stick them on top of the double bed. Right. And the van's got its own solar panels and charge controller and stuff and inverter, so you could recharge the bikes as well if you had to. That's
good. Yeah, good option. Good for a kind of a home-based situation. Barry, pedal power, something you've considered, something you've got, something that would be an option?
I haven't got, but there are 2 shops within 10 minutes walk from me that do sell a lot of e-bikes, and there is also a rather large Halfords nearby and a large shopping centre that also sells bikes. So if push comes to shove and there's a last resort, I'm going raiding.
He's nicking it.
I'm going raiding. Yeah.
He's going to purchase a bike.
Yeah.
With a crowbar.
Universal key.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, I mean, you like say, you know my thoughts on it. Alan, pedal power, did you say?
Yeah, I mean, I don't own a bike, a pedal bike. I do think they have a place though. I would say though, like, see, if you already have pedal bikes and things like that, then just make sure you've got one of these bike racks that goes on the back of your car and take it anyway. I mean, you might use it, you might not use it. It'd be nice to have. So if you have that, this is the beauty of a car. You can put a lot of things on it or in it. My car has roof racks because I have kayaks, so I've got the means to tie things to my roof. Buy a roof box because it's just more gear you can take with you, Have all these things on your car anyway. Brian actually reminded me of something as well. A van is actually a pretty good bug-out vehicle to have, just a transit van. I mean, not only can
fill it with shit.
You could fill it with shit, but I mean, you can put a motorcycle in the back of that, your whole bloody family, and a hell of a lot of preps. And it doesn't go off road unless you have some sort of modified one, but it's basically the size of a car anyway, kind of. I could do anything with a van that I could with a car.
About 6 meters.
Yeah. So a transit van or something would be a good option. I've even considered buying a transit van purely because it's a good way of recovering my motorcycle if I break down or something, but I've never got around to doing it.
Yeah, it is. I think I'd like a van, but I think I would end up converting it into a camper, and then it'd be useless as a van. And then I'd want another van, so it defies the point. Talking about fuel in the chat, they were. I'll do that. I got a liquid transfer pump for about £25 on Amazon. Talking about obviously scavenging fuel on the way around, stuff like that. JP said we have 3 rider for the bikes and 2 drivers for the cars. You need to go solo, or can you go as a group? There we go. Could not get that out at all. Yeah, I mean, you'd want to go as a group, right?
Yeah, as a convoy. Convoys are always better.
That would always be the better option if you could, definitely. Norfolk Prepper, I can bug out on a motorbike within 15 minutes and last for 2 weeks with everything. With panniers and top box filled, tent on back, bug out bag on back. Why not?
Yeah, I'm the same. My bike is fully set up. If I was just bugging out myself, I've got 2 20-litre panniers. I've not got a top box at the moment, but you can, with a dry bag, it's basically the same. I am going to get a 30-litre top box for it, and yeah, I could easily get a couple of weeks worth of stuff on there as well, including all my camping gear and stuff. And if I was bugging out to a cache point, well, then it's just as long as your caches last. As an individual, motorcycle is a really great option. Yeah.
JP says bikes in the immediate evacuation order. How far do you need to go? If the nukes are landing, probably is not a good idea. It would obviously depend on timescales and stuff like that. I mean, what kind of speeds can you get on the electric bikes, Brian? If the range is 30 miles at full assist, how quickly can you get 30 miles?
Legally, they're restricted.
No, without rule of law, we're talking about.
You'll get about 30, 40 miles an hour. Theoretically, you'll get about 30, 40 miles an hour out of it if you wanted to. And that's where a 250 watt motor. You'll get ones now that are 1,000, 2,000 watt dual hub motors. See, for a bug out vehicle, an e-bike is an excellent option. And if it's unrestricted, obviously in times of rule of law is gone, then you've got 2 torquey motors right on the wheel hubs, and it'll go anywhere. The only problem is, and before MD says the problem is how do you charge it? You could take folding panels. It's been done, and you could take a small power bank to charge it up. Now you might be sitting for a day. You might be sitting for 2 days by the river, catching fish, sorting out your kit, getting your administration done. But you could then move on. You're not tied to routes for fuel. It is a good option.
Some of these folding bikes have a pull-out battery as well.
Yeah.
So you can actually have one. Yeah, you can have a spare battery charging while you're using one. It's trickle charging. You're still going to have to stop at some point, but there's still that constant and gives you that extra range, right?
The mountain bike version I had, the e-bike, the older one years ago, it was a Green Edge CS2, and the battery was mounted where your water bottle would go. It's about that size. It looked like an aluminium flask, but you could put a key in and turn it, lift the whole battery out, and stick in another one. So you could have a spare battery, if you've got a spare 350 quid for the battery, in your backpack or on your panniers, and as soon as that's exhausted, stick it in and away you go. So in a day you could maybe get 60 miles at a fair old clip. I mean, 60 miles off the beaten track, that's no bad going. It's really no bad going.
60 miles in the UK is actually quite a distance, really.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's almost coast to coast.
Yeah, in places, definitely. I mean, the thing is, I mean, I'd happily redo my challenge with an e-bike just to see, and the charging times and stuff like that with spare batteries, and see how much difference that is. All you guys just need to chip in a tenner each. There's 11,000 subscribers, so there you go. It's sorted. I use Barfang electric conversion. What?
Sorry, just a quickie. If you look at a guy called Dude Stuff, he specialises in e-bikes that he builds and he reviews, and that will give you a cracking idea of what sort of shit's out there for preppers.
Cool. There you go. Good recommendation. Amphia said I used the Banfang electric conversion kit on my 26-inch wheeled mountain bike steel frame I welded together back in 1993. There you go. I've seen the conversion kits. I wondered if I could buy one on the go halfway on that cycle. I wonder if Amazon would drop me off an e-bike conversion kit in the middle of nowhere. Cargo bike, I will be doing a review when it arrives. 200 kilogram load weight.
Be interested to see that.
I'd interest to see you going up a 14% gradient with that. E-bike is on my shopping list in SHTF. Happy shopping, as it's called hereabouts.
Come shopping with me.
Yes. Doing his supermarket sweep. There we go. Just checking the comments here, catching up. There are pull-out solar panels now, very thin, but a couple of 100 watts, says Rift Security. I mean, that's you talked about the folding solar panels not being the cost-effective option, Brian, but that is the situation where spending a bit more money on a good quality branded fold-out one would be worth it, right?
It would come into its own because, and again, I can't help but feel, if you're bugging out with an e-bike, you'll get a day. And see, the next day, you're probably going to need to lay up someplace and stick it on charge and get it charged up again. And if you'd like an Anker C1000 white, like the guy had done in his video, you'll get a charge in it in a day. So you could have a day passively fishing by the river and getting some more preps in, and then away you go. So it might take you an extra day to charge it and move on, but you've got in the summertime, you've got an infinite power source. Problem's going to be wintertime. You're not going to charge it. But then again, you've still got the option of adjusting the assistance on the bike. Because it's wintertime and you know you're going to struggle to recharge it as often, take the assistance down a bit. If you're on the flat, take the assistance off.
Yeah.
It's only a button press.
Yeah. No, yeah, it makes sense. Extend the battery life as much as you can. JP said for an immediate evacuation order, we would take 2 motorbikes and the Sprinter van for the kids and non-riders, then head back home for long-term preps after scenario, if possible, then regroup. There you go. Sounds like he's got a full action plan in place there.
It's good to see JP back. It's been a while.
Isn't 60 miles the furthest in the UK that you can be from the coast? I'm not sure.
As the crow flies, but it might take you 60 miles on a circuitous route to get the 30-40 miles coast to coast.
Thought it was, something's telling me it's 75 miles. There's a place in the UK, if you stand in the middle, it's 75 miles each direction or something, but I'm not sure. The problem for us will arise, like the route Mike went, it's over hill and dale. So if you're avoiding people in arterial routes, that 30 miles that you would do in a day as the crow flies, it might take you 60 miles to do the same route, avoiding problems.
Yeah.
So what about larger vehicles if we're talking about big groups? That's the question as well. I've seen converted single-decker buses. I've seen converted double-decker buses into full-scale houses. Obviously, we've all seen the Mad Max fuel truck and stuff like that. Larger vehicles present their own problem getting through traffic and stuff. But, you know, put a big sweeper on the front, it should be all right. What's it called? The bull...
Snowplow.
The snowplow thing, yeah. It's got another name, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But
what, bull bars?
Like bull bars, but you know, the whole train size one on trains is an option as well. But larger vehicles, Brian, if it's a group, if we're talking SHTF and you've already established that little group, your brothers round, your family's round, you've got a good pile here, is it going to be 10 scavenged cars, or is it worth it then putting it together and getting like a bus or something to transport the people, especially if there's not as physically able people there as well?
It's a single point of failure. It's a single point of failure. the roads in the UK, especially when you go off the beaten path, they're shit. So the risk versus reward isn't in it. You might be having to go through a route that, if you've not scouted it properly, you've got a low bridge. You can't get through it, or it's country tracks and you're getting stuck and you can't manoeuvre. A car or a small van, you might be able to get into an overtaking place to get past the odd obstruction. And it's easier to reverse a 6-metre van than it is a 32-foot bus. So there's advantages. Cowcatcher. Yeah.
That's the name. That's what I was trying to think of. Rifts thought it was cow splatter, then Gal said cow clearer, then cow plough, but it is cowcatcher. That is the name of it. That's the one I was trying to think of that slipped my mind. Barry,
Heart says yes.
Yeah. Heart says no. Yes. Head says no. So would it be more singular vehicles and convoying where you can, you think?
Yep. 2 or 3 vehicles. So myself taking the van, wife taking her car, and then my brother and his family taking a couple of cars. If you get punctures or a catastrophic mechanical failure, you could distribute the party amongst the remaining vehicles and the kit. If you've got one big vehicle and you've got a mechanical failure that you can't fix, or you get stuck on the road, everybody's bollocksed.
Yeah. Barry, if you've gathered a group of people, it's post SHTF, it's been a while now, is a larger vehicle an option, do you think, for yourself?
No, I agree with Brian. Multiple vehicles, they're smaller, more manoeuvrable, and you're not relying on a single point of failure. If one motor goes, you can always pile people into various other motors. So, yeah, multiple vehicles, definitely a winner.
I'm disappointed in all of you that you don't want to get a bus and play the A-Team music and then, get it.
I'd love to, but
practical wise, I mean, round here, you wouldn't get a large motor around our roads. That'd get stuck, no problem round by me. So
I used to fix one of them for a mate of mine, Harbiston International School Bus. It broke down at Polar Services in Manchester. I had to go down there and put the crankshaft pulley back on and drill out broken bolts, and then I bypassed his front brakes to get him up the road.
I mean,
that's a prepper's Airbnb.
I could see a situation where a bus could be of some benefit.
I mean, no marauders are going to try and take your supplies if they see you coming down the road in that. Just saying. Look at the top there, the little area that the kids could be in the machine guns nests, and it's just...
I tell you what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't have 10 cars if I had that many people with me, and a bus was an option, because 10 cars is going to use 10 cars worth of fuel. And a bus, it uses a lot of fuel, but it uses significantly less fuel than a truck, and it's going to use less fuel than 10 cars. So I would probably take the bus plus a couple of cars, cram people into, as tight a space as possible. I mean, I can kind of see a place where you would have this tour bus type thing going on. The UK, though, I mean, the UK is not a big country. We do have small roads, and you're avoiding motorways and dual carriageways. I can't see it being overly practical. Like somebody said, this first small bridge you come to, you're kind of screwed. The first railway bridge you come to, you're screwed.
People say about, the roads being blocked, the motorways being blocked. I don't think it's always going to be the case. I mean, it depends on the situation, obviously. If there's an evacuation and everyone's trying to get out the same way, obviously they're going to be blocked, sort of thing. But if it was a, bolt from the blue kind of event and it was an EMP, it's only going to be the traffic that was on the motorway, and more than likely it's going to be on the same sort of lanes, and the hard shoulder is going to be free, and there's going to be ways to get through. So there's people to contend with, but they're quite squishy.
It depends. I mean, some motorways are quite difficult to get off of because, they're going to block the central reservation lanes. You've got that metal barrier that you really only have like 3-lane motorways in the UK. I mean, Scotland only has, how many motorways do we have? It's like 3 or something. 2, the M9, the M8, and I forgot.
73 and 74.
Yeah, so we have 4 motorways. They're not even big. And they block up all the time, and they aren't wide either. The M8 is only 2 lanes, most of it in one side and 2 lanes in the other side. So they're not particularly big roads as they are. And you have to go quite a long way before you get to the next slip road to get off the thing. So I would just avoid motorways always in all situations if possible, unless I knew I was living in a city that was about to be nuked. If I lived in London and World War III started, I'd be on the motorway. Yeah, well,
if you get on the M25, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Think about this though. Sorry, on you go, mate.
Wheat said vegetable oil. Most buses red diesel, so could convert and raid the chippy for oil. Old buses and stuff, you could definitely. It wouldn't be a much difficult task to do that.
You could do that with any diesel, I think.
Biodiesel.
Not new ones. You'll clog up the electric injectors. You'd need to filter it to fuck. If you were really, really desperate, mix it 2 parts to 1 way diesel and shite. But if you're going to go down that route, older engine.
There's a lot of electric buses around here now. Fully electric buses, so I'm not sure what the range is like on them.
Think about your EMP thing though. If that was a thing, if it was an EMP, would they bug out anyway? Let's be honest. But if it was a mandatory evacuation, then I was going in for a scan last week. Somebody crashed on the other side of the road. That meant people rubbernecking on this side. 3 of them ran into the back of one another and shut both lanes of the motorway. Yeah. So that's the sort of shit you'd be looking at. And then you would have desperation and fear. People would say, fuck it, I'm going up the hard shoulder. And then they block that. I think it would be choked in pretty short order.
I don't wish for SHTF and I don't wish for Teotihuacan, but sometimes Darwinism needs to do something. the herd needs thinning in places, let's be honest. If you crash because you're doing this with an iPhone at a crash on the opposite side of the road, then you've got issues. Yeah. You have issues.
There was 3 of them. On my side of the road, there was 3 cars that smashed into one another because they were looking. They crashed at the exact same spot where the guy had rolled over his car. So that's the sort of shit you would get, Mike.
That's just stupid. Sorry, I've got some. What about dual fuel generator and convert to hydrogen? Anybody seen these look quite promising?
No.
Anyone looked at that? Hydrogen generator?
I've been thinking hydrogen cars were going to be the future for 20 years, and it hasn't happened yet. I still kind of think they are. I think hydrogen, is superior.
BP and all the oil companies own the patents for them. As soon as you invent something like that, they'll buy it up, and as soon as the fuel supply gets to a point where it's like, oh no, we can only have it for military and emergency services now, that's when suddenly all these cars are released. People think EV cars are brilliant. As soon as that happens, as soon as fuel starts shortages, you'll see all these patterns that suddenly come out, the dust gets batted off, and there'll be all sorts of fueled cars.
Well, do you know, I used to wonder why they didn't just convert everything to hydrogen anyway, like the oil companies and stuff, and I did a little bit of digging in it, and from what I can see, the reason being because of the the energy that it takes to sort of make the hydrogen. I always thought, well, just build up a nuclear power station and make hydrogen from that, and then you've got an endless supply. Why don't you do that? The reason they don't do that is because they restrict nuclear power stations to certain countries in the world. Yeah. So the oil companies, which are predominantly Middle Eastern and stuff, aren't allowed nuclear power stations, and that's why it doesn't happen. So they're literally milking everything out.
We don't have the spare power now to do that anyway. The UK power grid doesn't have enough power to cope with electrification of the heating system and electric cars. Never mind the data centres that they're talking about. Never mind electrolysis for hydrogen.
Yeah.
I tell you what, see somebody talking about the Batcopter. There is one bug-out vehicle we've not talked about yet, which is a boat.
Yeah.
Boats are fantastic bug-out vehicles.
So this is one thing I'd look at, all right, because people are like, if you got 1 million subscribers and stuff like that, what would you want to do? It'd be homestead, and it would be some sort of boat, because I don't think I'd want to go underground. Rather than spend the money on a bunker, I'd rather have a way of really getting out of Dodge. So I think boat would be the way to go for me. I don't think I'd want to go underground unless absolutely no other choice.
I'd love the bunker with the boat in it.
with an underground river that then comes out magically on the surface.
Build the yacht inside the bunker. No possibility of getting it out, but it's in there.
A paddling pool. Yeah, it's just in there.
That's going to be such a mind trip for somebody that finds your body 300 years later. You're the ultimate ship in a bottle.
There was a guy with a bad limp. Long John Chubby Ass was in a boat inside a bunker.
Definitely sounds like some Goonies stuff to me. But boats is a question again that comes down to a small. Are you talking about a small rib boat with an outboard motor? You're talking about a sailboat. Then you're not relying on fuel. Obviously, that comes with a huge learning curve. If it was boats, what's your feelings on that, Barry? Canal boat where you're from, right?
Sorry?
It'll be a canal boat where you're from, right?
There's plenty of them, certainly. Yeah. Cheek. Yeah, I must admit, it's one thing I've not thought of, canal boats, to be honest. One, because they're slow.
Let's get out of here!
Yeah, that's it. No.
Put.
That'd be, no. And there isn't any sort of large body of water I need a boat for around here, so it's not something I've considered.
Not something considered. Alan, boats has been a consideration for you. Obviously, you've got a passion for kayaking and stuff like that.
Yeah, but... those are the only thing those kind of things are good for are island hopping. I've went to Loch Maree and I've packed my gear into those are white water kayaks, but I can get all my gear in them and go to like an island in Loch Maree and camp for a couple of days. Great for stuff like that. And it's a good way of getting to secluded places and things, or crossing a river. I would put them on the roof of the car if I was bugging out anyway. I've also got a 3 and a 4 meter rib boat. And they are good for family members, bigger trips. And you can, again, it's all inshore stuff though. I mean, you're not really going out to sea in something like that. I mean, you can coastally move around, and it's another means of traversing from one place to the other, especially if you're in all the roads are sort of down and things like that. And, you only need a sort of a 9 horsepower outboard on a 4 meter rib, and you can put 3-4 people on that plus your gear, and you'll get a long time out of the fuel. They're very fuel efficient. And if that fails, you just bloody row the thing. A canal boat, I like watching those YouTube videos because I harbour this fantasy of selling up my house one day when the kid grows up and living on a canal boat. But from a security point of view, I mean, a canal's not exactly wide. They don't move very quickly. So, I mean, it's not
very deep either, so they can walk to you.
It's good for sort of getting off grid. It's a good off grid solution, but it's a bad bug out solution.
Yeah.
A sailboat, though, I mean, anybody who's ever watched sailboat YouTube videos of people who live on these things, they're entirely self-contained. I mean, they have reverse osmosis machines where you can purify water from the ocean. You can stay out to sea for damn nearly a year before you have to come in and like you remove all the barnacles and that kind of stuff. And if you're in warmer waters and you have diving kit, you can do that at sea. You can fish very easily, catch food. Rainwater's not a problem. A sailboat, we are on an island. And a sailboat is a very, very practical way of bugging out of harm's way. Nobody's nuking the sea, despite what, some of the propaganda videos say. That's just not happening. But again, that comes down to sort of fantasy money. I'll be long dead before I can afford a sailboat. But, there are some out there that you can get that are plenty big enough for 3-4 people.
You can be surprised at some of the prices you can get them for cheap as well if you're willing to put the work in and stuff like that. And going to a less coastal place and buying somebody's boat that's been stuck on the drive for 6 years and the wife's sick of it, you can get a bargain as long as you're willing to transport it. Brian, boats ever been a consideration?
Yeah, I love the water, 100%. We've had boats for years. Because I was working a lot, didn't get a chance to use them. So now just kayaks, and it's only shitty kayaks now. But you can get a lifting keel trailer sailor, maybe a 22 or a 28 footer for circa 3-4 grand. And you're looking a little 6 horsepower long shaft outboard on the back of it. Don't get an inboard that would use up too much space. But I mean, for less than, I know it's a lot of money, but 10 grand's 10 grand. Between £4,000 and £10,000, you could buy the boat and kit it out. Solar panels on the top, bags of storage in it everywhere. as an option. And a lot of training, a lot of boating clubs will do training as part of your membership.
Solar panels on the top is the way to go for me.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice big
This
catamaran.
would be,
Yeah, nice.
this is the Timaran, not a catamaran. It's smaller sort of thing. And what's anyone have a famous reference for this boat or this type of boat?
Waterworld.
Yes. Look at that.
That's
the end of the world boat. That's what we need.
That's the way to do it. I tell you what, see, if you're looking at a very small, affordable boat with an outboard, fully kitted out, that can fit 3 or 4 people, and you get some kit on it, and you just want to do coastal stuff, there's a website called Mini Fisher. I've been looking at these. It's a fully purpose-built little boat, fits in a driveway, buy it with the trailer, and it's called a Mini Fisher. Take a look at those. They're fantastic little things as a possible bug-out vehicle, I would say.
Okay. What kind of size are we talking though? The words mini always put me off with the size of my family.
I don't know. Well, you get 3 or 4 adult men on it fishing, and it's got a tiny little cabin which you can actually sleep in and stuff. So it's weather contained as well. It's actually called Mini Fisher. They have a Facebook page and stuff. I only came to mind there because I've looked at this before, not as a bug out vehicle, as more of a going camping and getting drunk and fishing vehicle, but you know, as you do.
Like if you bought that, as soon as you put it in the water, it would explode or catch fire or something, then sink. It's a certainty.
Nope, I've already got the captain's hat ready. It's fine.
It's semen stains.
And masturbates.
You're trying to find it, aren't you?
I'm pulling up what I think claims to be the Mini Fisher 450.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Now. Yep,
they're the ones, I think.
I mean, I can't see me living on that with my family. I'm close enough to them in a 3-bedroom house. I mean, they'd definitely just end up being me on there.
The thing is, though,
it looks a bit like a Shetland 535.
That little boat can get 4 adult men on it, and you can fish on it for a couple of days. That suggests you could sleep on it if you need to. And it's incredibly affordable. That's the only reason I looked them up originally, is because they're far cheaper than the next competitor, like a similar sized vessel. You're paying 40-50 grand. That thing, I'm sure, is only like 8 grand or something, or maybe even less. See
if you go to eBay or Facebook Marketplace and run a search for Shetland or a Galaxy. I can't remember the Galaxy model, but it's a split cabbed one. But you'll get a Shetland 535 or something like that, which is the same size. We no engine on it in the trailer for about 600.
I mean, look at this. We talk about it's not that expensive when you're looking at. Why is it not showing the page I'm on? That's weird. There we go. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Yay, lift music.
I
mean,
Girl from Ipanema. That's what that tune was. That's what it's called.
No. That's this is 230 quid. It ends in 1 day's time, but I mean it needs some TLC, but I mean if it floats and it's got a sail and it's got space, there's options there that are not overly expensive, right? That's the whole point here. So
if you've got a room to work on it and you're relatively handy, or even willing to just have a go, YouTube's a good resource for people that haven't done shit before. Somebody will have done it, and you can just pause it and do it.
I'd love to do it. I'd love to do that. Would a dinghy not be in large supply?
not at this side, south of the border.
Not at this side.
No.
I mean, there should be loads of them knocking about, right?
So a good place to get if you're looking at ribbed boats, sort of 4 meter, 3 meter, that kind of stuff. There's a website, a company called Boat World.
I've seen their stuff.
I've used that's where I get mine from. They're fantastic.
They're decent sized tubes on them as well, huh?
Yeah, really good materials, and for the price point, they're far cheaper than like the crazy prices that you get on
But
these marinos.
I see that, like you say, as like an island hopping thing. I can't see me living on a rib boat and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Unless you like jerry rig some sort of tent to it. I've not got a picture of that. I've got a picture of somebody that's done it with a pickup truck. But something like this.
Well,
you can buy tents for them, Mike.
Yeah, you can actually get tents for rib boats, and you can even use a tarp.
They go over it.
Yeah, there's a guy I follow who lives in the Isle of Man, and he camps on his rib sometimes, and he uses a British Army basher and just literally goes on it and sleeps on it. It's pretty cool. But we are only talking about Bugout vehicles. You're talking about living on something. I mean, that's a different.
That depends what you're bugging out to. If I'm bugging out to the United States, it's quite a sail.
I wouldn't want to live in my car either, but it's one of those things. Hopefully, you're going to a place, but if you're bugging out forever, then a sailboat would definitely be the way ahead, I think.
I mean, I just figured if you could get off land for 30 days, then when you come back, the zombies have eaten
You'll fit a lot of kit in it.
The zombies have eaten themselves. The Jimmy Savile ninjas have all took care of the rest, and there's only the odd prime running.
Think about the blue barrels. See, with like a 4 meter rib, and there's a couple of people in it. You've got a shitload of space for your barrels. You've got them lashed down. A couple of canisters of fuel. You could coastal hop till you find some place, or there's an abundance of islands that you could go to as well, and ride it out there for your 30 days. I mean, you're talking push come to shove, 30 rat packs. It's not taking up a huge amount of space.
Yeah. You bear in mind, I mean,
just for me, the family doesn't have to eat. It's fine. 30 rat packs.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
I've never done any.
Going?
I've never done any proper videos on it, but there is actually a couple of videos on my channel of me using my rib and an inflatable kayak from Lidl of all places, and two of my friends at Loch Marie, and we spent nearly 4 days island hopping Loch Marie. And the dinghy, you'll see it in the video, is just full of crates of beer and camping gear and barbecue food, and
the
you know what I mean.
Then.
We literally just packed it to the gunnels. You know what I mean? But if you were more intelligent about it and you weren't just drunkenly paddling around Loch Marie like we were doing for days, you could do something with it, I think, and you could definitely get out of harm's way, especially if you live somewhere like Loch Marie, which is a great hiding place.
We do not condone drunken island hopping in any states.
Well, let's not be hasty.
I think we are running out of time. I'm just making sure we've not got any questions in the chat. If you've got any, get them in very quickly now before we end. There was one from Amphib. It says question, but sometimes it says question and it's a statement. But anyone consider using IR illuminator vehicle bulbs and night vision to drive in complete darkness without being seen? Anyone?
I've not tried it, but I do have it. But I don't have the bulbs in the van. But I have got IR illuminators as secondary sources if you were going to go active for your night vision.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't make a video of it because I don't think Plod would take too kindly to it as a scenario.
Well, as long as you're doing it, on a bit of private land somewhere, and car parks are fine. Car parks.
Excuse me, driving in the dark, officer. Look, I can see this much.
Till I'm blinded by your blue flashing lights.
What was that bump? Oh, it's just a hobo. It's fine.
The expendable ones. Anyone else looked at that?
No.
That would be so cool on a motorbike, though, Alan. Build your night vision into the helmet that comes down and turn it into night mode. I feel so Batman if that was the case.
Yeah, I have actually. I've driven with night vision before, and it's actually hard to do because the depth perception and stuff is different. That's kind of all off, so it's not an easy thing to do. And also,
Brian running over hobos.
Yeah, I mean the other thing as well, you would have to jerry rig your bike so that the light went off. Most motorcycles now you can't actually, the headlight's on all the time. It's like a running light, so you would have to disconnect that as well somehow.
Yeah. Pull the fuses.
Yeah, you would have to pull something or do something that's I probably still wouldn't know. I can't envision it being that necessary, to be honest.
There you go. But I think it'll be cool, and you should make a video out of it.
Would look cool, yeah.
Right. We've got 102 people still in here, up and down, it fluctuates. But Barry, can you tell them about your channel and what's coming next, and explain the beard again?
The lack of, yeah. Okay, first things first, the elephant in the room, the beard. Basically, I'm going on holiday shortly. I want to look like my passport so I can get back in the country. No jokes about boats, folks. Yeah, and the channel, it's basically novice prepping from a starting point of view. There's only a couple of videos up on there at the moment, but actually tonight's conversation has given me a few ideas for another couple, and I've been making some notes. So yeah, there might be some more videos coming shortly.
So when Barry's arrested next week for driving down the M6 with infrared lights in a boat. In a boat. Alan, tell us all about the World Survivalist, please.
Yeah, the World Survivalist channel. At the moment, it's predominantly just it's mostly camping videos and wilderness type videos. I do kit reviews. I'm trying to do some more preppery type stuff in there, and I've been doing some more outdoor survivalist type based stuff. So how to make traps, how to build certain shelters, that kind of stuff. And so I've got a few up and coming videos for that, and hopefully after Christmas, I've got some bigger plans for the channel as well. So more content to come.
Excellent, excellent. Go and check out Alan's channel, World Survivalist. Some great videos on there. I love your camping in the snow with the Lavu. That was a good one.
Well, that was my most popular. I think that was my most popular video actually. I've got a couple of those ones, but I love that. Winter camping, that's fantastic.
Well, you're going to be our guide, Alan, when you take me and the cripple winter camping at some point this year.
Yeah. Tell you what, that Lavu with a wood burning stove out in the snow, there's nothing better.
There you go. So you'll be in that, and I'll be in a leaky $5.99 little job next to you.
On fire.
Tune in, guys. It'll be a great fireside. Brian, we already know they're already subscribed, but please tell us about Scottish Prepper 73.
Try and keep on topic with things that may be a problem for the future. Predominantly power related, as I tend to think we're in for a bad time with the grid, and anything in between that pops up. Last video was basically nobody's coming to save you, and why, and your responsibilities as a parent or a partner. So yeah, I fly out to America in 2 days, so I might try and do a couple of walking videos going through Walmart, looking at all the shit that I'm trying to get in my case. So I might do something while I'm in the States. I'll try.
Cool. There you go. There you go.
You will not laugh. You will not cry.
There you go, but you can try. For anyone watching on these other guys' channels, I'm Mike, UK Urban Prepper. My channel is not all about prepping. It's all about whatever hell I want it to be about, because it's my channel. So if you don't like it, get the fuck out. Other than that, hit like, subscribe, and support with all the links down below. The last call out I will do, because we've not played it for a while, is our awesome chief moderator, Miss Worm, who is a published author, which I have that as well. And you can get her book on Amazon, which is there. So give that a search on Amazon. You can also get it on Kindle, I believe. She's not done the audio version yet. We're waiting for that one. But go and check out her channel if you would like her to read you some awesome stories. And it's a break. It's a bit of a break from prepping. There you go. Thank you, Miss Worm, for all you do here, as well as on Discord as well, keeping everyone in check over there. And to Evil Girl, who is now forced to be managing 1,200 people over on our Facebook page, which is absolutely insane. Thank you for all the moderators and everything you do. It's really appreciated. From me, the last thing is, you want to meet me, you want to meet all the guys. There's still tickets for the Scottish Prepper Meet 2026. I know it's not even 2026 yet, but they will sell out fast. We expect it to be a complete sellout, so don't leave it to the last minute. Come on down. Great laugh last time. Speak to anyone that was there. They will tell you, and they'll highly recommend it. So make sure you don't miss out on the tickets.
Do it now.
There you go. No more delays. Thanks, everyone. Brian, would you like to have any final thoughts and say goodbyes? Nah, okay. Barry, any final thoughts and goodbyes?
No, thanks everybody for turning up and listening to us ramble on as usual. Hope to see you next time.
There you go. Alan, any final thoughts and goodbyes?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Thanks for letting me on the channel and add me to the intro and stuff. That's
on the intro.
And stop buying your summer gear now.
I'd like to say you've made it now, but no, you just means you're one of us. So that's pretty much screwed your chances of being successful on YouTube. As soon as you sign up with us, that's it. It's all.
I was never going to be successful on YouTube.
But think of the video we'll make when we all freeze to death in the same winter camp. That'll be great content.
That's good content. Good content.
That's good content.
Blair Witch Project.
Brian, would you like to say goodbye properly?
Thanks, folks. Always good to see you, and thanks for tuning in and listening to our drivel for an hour and a half.
There you go. Much appreciated, guys. See you all in the next one. Goodbye.
See you all.
In the glow of embers dance, we've prepared for every chance, living simple, living true, with the dream we all pursue. Prepared for every chance, living simple, living true, with the dream we all pursue.
I'm Brian! I'm Brian! I'm Brian! I'm Brian! I'm Brian and so's my wife! Right, take him away and release him. No, I'm only joking. I'm not really Brian.